You know, one of the biggest, most powerful fears that comes up when you start to question belief is this really deep sense of loss. It's this feeling that if you let go of that one big answer, you're just going to be left with, well, with nothing. So in this explainer, we're going to tackle that fear head on.
It really all boils down to a single, huge question. And honestly, it's a question that stops a lot of people in their tracks before they even begin to explore what they think about, well, the biggest topics out there.
And there it is. If I don't believe, what's left? Now, this is not some casual question, right? This hits right at our need for meaning, for purpose, for some kind of framework to make sense of our lives. For so many, the idea of losing that framework, it doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like you're about to step off a cliff into a total void.
Okay, so let's talk about that feeling, that void. The first major misconception we have to clear up is this idea that a lack of belief automatically equals a lack of meaning. That idea gets tangled up with a totally different philosophy.
And that philosophy is nihilism. Nihilism is the total rejection of all meaning, all purpose, all values. It's the belief that life has zero objective meaning, no built-in value. It's often painted as this dark, empty, final destination.
And this right here is the most important point. Atheism is not nihilism. They are fundamentally different things. An atheist is just someone who doesn't believe in a god or gods. Period. That's the entire definition. It says absolutely nothing about what they think about meaning or purpose or how to be a good person.
And this is where the whole conversation can reframe itself. See, rejecting one specific source for meaning is not the same thing as rejecting meaning altogether. I mean, countless non-believers live these incredibly purposeful lives, full of compassion and ethics. Meaning doesn't just evaporate, it just shifts. Its source moves from the divine to the human, to the things we can see and touch and feel.
Now, this shift in perspective helps us with another really common concern. This idea that a scientific worldview somehow drains all the wonder out of the universe, leaving it kind of cold and boring.
You hear this question a lot, right? Like, if we can explain how a star is born or how life evolved, does that kill the magic? Does it destroy the awe you feel when you stare up at the night sky?
Well, for so many people, the answer is a hard no. In fact, it does the complete opposite. It makes that sense of wonder even bigger.
I mean, just think about it. To learn that you are literally made of stardust, that every single atom in your body was forged in the heart of a star that died billions of years ago, that's absolutely breathtaking. To understand the unbelievable, intricate dance of evolution that led to all of us, that doesn't make it less magical, it makes it so much more astonishing. So, from this point of view, science doesn't just satisfy curiosity, it can actually turn it into a deep, profound reverence for the universe we're lucky enough to be a part of.
And that brings us right to our next big question: morality. What happens to our ethics if they aren't tied to some kind of divine reward or punishment? I mean, does everything just fall apart? Well, what we see is this really fundamental shift in thinking. On one hand, you have ethics based on obedience. The big question there is, what am I allowed to do? It's driven by avoiding punishment or hoping for a reward. But when you take away that external authority, ethics becomes about personal responsibility. And the question changes completely. It becomes, what kind of person do I want to be? It's a morality that comes from the inside out, driven by empathy, by our own values, and by a desire to build a better, kinder world.
So all this focus on our internal values, it kind of zooms us out to the bigger picture here, the whole search for meaning itself, and the different ways people go about it.
For billions of people, religion provides this incredibly profound and detailed framework. It offers answers to life's biggest questions, a powerful sense of community, a clear moral code. It is without a doubt one of humanity's oldest and most powerful ways of making sense of it all.
For other people, meaning isn't found out there in some divine plan, but right here, in this world. It's found in our connections with each other, in the power of science and reason, and in the sheer beauty of the natural world. This is another completely valid and deeply meaningful path.
And then, for so many others, the most honest answer is just to say, I don't know. And this isn't about not caring, far from it. It's about embracing uncertainty. It's this view that maybe some questions are just bigger than our ability to answer them, and there's a real integrity in admitting that.
And look, the really crucial thing to get here is that these are not rankings. This isn't a competition to see who's right or who's more moral. They are just different, deeply human ways that we try to make sense of this incredible, confusing, and beautiful existence we all find ourselves in.
And that really brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. Maybe the ultimate value isn't found in claiming you have the one, single, certain answer.
Maybe it's found in the integrity of the search itself, in being honest with yourself, with your questions, your doubts, and your convictions.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. Which do you think is actually more powerful in a person's life? An answer that's just handed down and accepted without question? Or a question that's pursued with real, genuine honesty, no matter where it leads?